definition of public corruption. It can be any conduct by a public sector employee which is unlawful or fails to meet the ethical or professional standards required in the performance of duties or the exercise of powers entrusted them. So we're entrusting McIntosh County government and the state of Georgia to do right by us on a moral, ethical standpoint, but moreover, as your office has a policy that says you're supposed to do.
We just in a predicament here, you know, and I wish it could be different, and hoping and praying that it would be, but I don't know.
Those names up there, A through L, are the names of our original communities that existed with lands that were purchased with American currency. This ain't no 40 acres and a mule scenario. Our family members paid cash to live on these lands and have the deeds in their hands on 13 communities.
And it's all over. It's not just Raccoon Bluff.
This is all that's left. Let's start there.
You know how those people deal. And the only reason he hang around you got something he wants.
That's right.
And if he stay long enough, you get it. You know, and sometimes we'll give it to him. We don't realize what we got until it's gone. And like I say, once they get it, we will never get it back.
Inside of Hog Humming, the Sapelo Island Heritage Authority owns 85.6 acres. This inside of Hog Humming. Everything shaded in gray is what the Sapelo Island Heritage Authority owns. So let's be clear, this is 85.6 acres in Hog Humming. The legislation in 1983 said that the authority was through a vote that says this organization called, we break it down to SEHA, Sapelo Island Heritage Authority, SEHA, was to be preserving these lands for our future, quote, development for survival. Now that's what these lands were supposed to be under legislation for. Well now, they're trading the lands with Bill Hodges and the new developers, our lands. They're able to now trade with them, give them 60-year leases for $1. Do you have a lease of any land from Sapelo Island Heritage Authority for $1?
No.
Me neither.
No.
So,
How are they getting these leases?
from the Sapelo Island Heritage
Are they
Authority.
applying for them? Are they?
They're friends with the government.
Okay. That's an action item. That's something we can do. That like move to do. Now, whether or not it gets done is separate, but that's something that's a whole campaign. We can introduce a bill this session, this upcoming session. This island authority needs to be revoked. Their authority needs to be revoked. That could be introduced.
Now, hold on. Does that sound like something we would want done?
Would you want there not to be an island authority that controls these lands?
I think it's a good thing.
Okay. if the island authority doesn't control these lands, and what your process of thinking is right now, who would control them?
Right. No, that's where I'm trying to come to. So before the island authority, who controlled those parcels?
We
The
did.
people. So each person had rights over the 3 acres or the 2 acres or 1.5 acres, whatever much they had.
That's correct. They took granddaddy land, what I'm paying $2,800 for, and sent me a bill for $18,000. I know that they're getting stricter on us to keep us from living on this island.
That's true.
They didn't mind earlier, but now they got 22 new neighbors who are, if you ask me, who are leading the charge of our removal. Why can I say that? They the ones building houses outside the code. They know they're building outside the code. They know it's going to raise the land value, and they know we can't afford the same taxes they pay.
Everybody's telling the same story, you know, about women had land taken, we had, you know, stuff with slavery, we had, you know, what our family went through. Everybody's telling the same, everybody's trying to fight the same fight. Same story, different voices. It sounds like a title to a movie, right?
We're not as close as we once was. We used to help each other. And right now, I got mine, you get yours. And that's the mentality that we done take up with.
I say 20 and 50 years, the state gold, I'm sure that gold is on this whole island. Whether it happens or not, I don't know.
20 years, we should have the museum on the lands in Homecoming built. We should have the museum and housing with an infrastructure situation in Raccoon Bluff with the recovery of those lands. We should have an amphitheater, a movie theater. We should have the ability to have a ancestral walk of bricks, you know, type of deal. You should have a barbershop. You should have a landscaping pole barn area to put all the equipment. You should have a hospitality training center. We should have a restaurant at both locations, Raccoon Bluff North End and Homecoming.
So a dynamic, functioning, living, thriving community.
Yes.
And we need to go back to some of the old ways. Be my brother, keeper.